Hi, and welcome back. So, the next part of our life story I want to talk about is what happened in 2011. 2011 was a very hard year for us. You could say it was almost our world's end to an extent at that point in our lives. So, very early on in 2011, that February, there were some really transformative moments for our family. While my dad was training for his first half marathon, he was in the middle of a run one day and he felt a little bit of pain in his chest. Didn't think too much about it, kept running, but noticed in the coming weeks that he would get more winded during his runs and would get tired easily. Then at church one day, I thought he was having a heart attack. I think my mom did too. He doubled over in pain, turned white, just looked terrible. It felt terrible too. But instead of complaining of pain in his chest, he was complaining of abdominal pain. So with some encouragement, he ended up going to the ER. At the ER, they didn't find anything in his abdomen that could be causing pain. Everything checked out to be normal. But while he was there, they did say that he had a heart murmur that a first-year medical student could hear. It was that serious. So they encouraged him to go to a cardiologist to get it checked out. After going to 2 cardiologists to get second opinions, it was determined that on that day when he felt that pain in his chest during his run, he had actually torn his mitral valve in his heart. So that's a valve that is in between 2 of the chambers of the heart. So he was told he could have a heart attack at any moment. It could be that day, it could be 6 months from then. But if he didn't get it fixed, the doctor guaranteed he would have a heart attack. It was just a matter of time. So, with circumstances that were going on at that same time, my dad felt it was best to wait for the surgery. So he waited for the surgery for 2 months. He waited. And this surgery is just like any other thing with a heart. It was an open heart surgery, so it was very invasive. For this surgery, they have to take the heart out of the chest. They have to rework your blood flow for the time being. And they put the heart back in the chest once they have fixed the valve. Now they replaced his with a pig valve, so there's no mechanical valve in there. When we dropped him off for the surgery, I do remember it was really tough. We dropped him off the night before, and this was the most invasive surgery I've ever had a loved one go through. And I didn't know at the end of the day if I'd be able to see him or hear his voice again. I didn't know what would happen during the surgery. So it was a really hard 24-hour period of waiting. Thankfully, the surgery went well, and I'll always remember when he woke up in the cardiac ICU afterwards, after they had taken the incubation tube out of his throat. I will always remember what his voice sounded like when he told me, "I love you," again. Hearing those words just, to me, made it feel like everything was going to be okay. You know, I mentioned 2011 was a very big time of our lives. So one other thing that happened the same week that my dad found out he had to have open heart surgery is I did unfortunately lose a very good friend in a car accident. She had just turned 16 2 days before. I remember hearing about the accident and not believing that it was her. So as you can imagine, as a 17-year-old who is still trying to figure out life and not even out of high school yet, to have experienced not only the loss of a friend, but have your dad have to go through open heart surgery, it was life-changing to say the least, and put a new perspective out there for me. So 2011, it wasn't 2012, the end of the world, but it definitely rocked my world. And as similar, this is just the beginning of our story. I didn't think it could get any more trying than going through this. But little did I know what was to come within the next few years. So I hope you continue to follow along as I share my journey and my family's story. If you could, and if you would like to, please hit the subscribe button and the like button below this video. And I can't wait to share more with you in the coming weeks. Have a blessed day.